Good morning. How is everybody doing? You guys could use the chat to let me know you can hear me. That would be great. You can just say, yep, I can hear you. We're going to wait a couple more minutes to get started because it's not quite 9:30. Perfect. Glad you guys can hear me. How are things going? How's the online stuff? In my class or any class? Are you guys adjusting and my family has yeah, ready for it to be over. Yeah. My family has had some Wi-Fi struggles, just the strength of the Wi-Fi, especially when like I'm in online office hours. Sometimes it just kind of keeps resetting. But we're making it. We're doing it. So I am going to keep my chat open. Just so I can see. And remember, you can type a question in the chat at any time. Okay, so when you think of the question, just go ahead and type it in, and I will certainly make sure that I get to all of those questions. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. I need to turn the chat back on. There we go. Okay. So I have about 9:30. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We Zoom limits our time together. So we only have 40 minutes, and the 40 minutes starts from whenever the first person comes in the room. So I'm managing that time. Now, if you ever come and see me during office hours, that if it's just a one-on-one thing, that isn't limited. So we are able to do that. So let's start with the assignments for the week. So if you can see, this is your, we're inside Canvas, and right here we've got 4, 7, 20, Math 144 assignments. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that so that we can start looking at it. And so this is what you'll be doing this week. So we had last week's material. You had 3.1 and 3.2, and you had a video lesson and a homework lesson to work on that. So this week you're going to be given 3.3 and 3.4, and you'll have homework on that. Okay, and my husband is outside, so I'm going to shut the door. I'm coming right back. Okay, sorry about that. I was beginning to hear his conversation. So, and then I just want to make sure that you know the stuff that's upcoming. You've got a quiz on April 17th, and that will be over our chapter 3 stuff. And then you have your project due on April 21st. And at this point, the only thing that you can't do on your project is like number 10 and the extra credit. And I will give you a video on how to do that next week. And just be patient with me on the videos. I'm recreating those videos from scratch. And so it just takes me a little bit of time to get those up. You'll definitely have 3.3 today, and I hope that you'll have 3.4 right after that. Believe it or not, it's the uploading that's given me a hard time. I think that everybody is doing videos and uploading them to YouTube, so that has been a little bit of an issue. So questions on what your material looks like this week? Any questions on that? Okay. The other thing that I just wanted to say is if at any time you get stuck on a homework problem, I don't mind doing a couple of short videos on homework problems that people can do. I had one about the x-intercept that I've gotten several questions on. But if you have some homework questions, especially as we move into next week, which is your quiz week, don't hesitate to say, hey, Alicia, will you do a video on this one? Or if there's a specific topic, you can hit ask my instructor and have it say, this would be a great one if you could do a video on this one. So just wanted to remind you of that. If you are wondering where my office hours are, be sure here is the link to my office hours, and here is my schedule to my office hours. Yesterday when I was in my office hours, I kept getting kicked out of Zoom. So if I'm not there, it's reconnecting. You can email me. Ultimately, I had to go to my LTE on my phone to attend a meeting yesterday. So that is always possible. So we just want to be patient with each other as we learn how to do these, all the online stuff, because literally everybody in the nation is doing the online. So just a reminder, these are my office hours. I'm around in the mornings, and in the afternoons I'm available by email. So don't hesitate to contact me by email if you need to. Okay, I'm gonna pause just for a second to see if you have any questions on that. Okay, and you can type your question in at any time. Here's your PowerPoint and your video from last week. PowerPoint video from last week. Here's your PowerPoint. Your video 3.3 will be up by the end of the day today. And 3.4 hopefully won't be far behind it, but you've already got your PowerPoints there. So that is what's going on this week. Now, I want to remind you, inside WebAssign, you have all your homework assignments inside WebAssign. This is for this week right here, 3.3. As you get started on that, some of your questions will have a watch it. And that's a video on how to do that. Not every question has it, but a lot of questions have that watch it. So I just want you to be aware that that happens. The other thing that you have is this practice another version. So if you miss a problem a couple of times and you want to practice another version, just click on that. And that's not going to count towards your chances on that, and it gives you some extra practice on what you might need help with. So I just want to make sure that you have that going on. Some students have started asking a little bit about the final exam. So I just want you to know that for the final exam, it'll be similar to many of our other tests. You will get a practice final exam inside WebAssign. So you'll have a practice final exam inside WebAssign, and I will work out videos to that practice final exam. So you'll have both of those. Then your final exam will be available that last week, and it'll be due by Thursday at midnight. That's April 30th by midnight, and that's just when all final exams are due. So some students are starting to ask questions about that. The other question that I'm getting is about the pass-fail. Now, you can certainly talk to your advisor about this. I would encourage you to talk to your advisor about this. But if you choose to take a pass-fail grade in this class, you're allowed. And if you take the pass-fail grade, the credit still counts towards your degree, but the pass-fail does not count towards your GPA. So if you are, you have a scholarship and you want to make sure that you qualify for that scholarship, and you've got to have a 3.0 to keep that scholarship, then if you ended up getting a C in this class, that would be a situation where I would take the pass-fail, because you get credit for the class, it counts towards graduation, but it does not affect your GPA. Another situation is if you are trying to stay qualified for athletics, then you are, I don't know if you have to have a 2.8, or I'm not exactly sure what you have to qualify for athletics, and you got a C or a D in this class, then that's another situation where you would consider the pass-fail. So I just want you guys to be aware of the different situations on the pass-fail. You have to opt into the pass-fail. The default is going to be the letter grade. So I will report letter grades at the end of the term. And then if you want the pass-fail, you have to fill out a form with the registrar or with your academic advisor in order to do that. I don't put in the pass-fail. That goes through the registrar's office. But I do want to just kind of touch base with you on that, so that you know what's going on. Okay, so let's go back to our project. Our project is down here, and this is your project file right here. How are we doing on that? Do we have questions about the project? Do you know where you can get resources on the project? You can talk to each other on the project. How are we doing with that? And please go ahead and type your question in, even as I continue talking about other things. I am going to do next week on our Tuesday meeting, I am going to do how to use CAM Scanner. So next Tuesday at 9:30, I will go through and show everybody how to use CAM Scanner. So you can have your phone with you and you can practice doing CAM Scanner, because that'll be an important part of making sure that you have this. Okay, and again, you can type your question in as I go through. Okay, so the last thing that I want to talk about today is Desmos. So you probably are using Desmos a lot. The question I have about the project is the project on regular paper or is it on a poster board? You do not need to do it on a poster board. I would do it on the paper that the project's written on. So if you want to print that out, you just print that out and you do the project on that paper, and you turn those papers in. Every once in a while, I have a student that doesn't have access to a printer. It's better for you if you print it, because there's lots of graphs on the project, but if you have to do it on paper, that's okay. I've had people turn it in on paper before, but it is just on regular paper. Traditionally, students just write their answers on the pages with the project that's in part of the project. That's a good question. Thank you. Now you're going to continue using Desmos. Desmos is allowed on your project. You're probably using it a little bit with this chapter. And I would. Visualizing things is super important. What I wanted to make sure that you knew how to do is I wanted to make sure that you knew how to enter logs in for graphing. So what I have right here is this is the typing area where you type in your equation. So we've been doing x squared plus 3. We've been using this for most of the semester. If you go over to the button that says functions, if you click on the functions button, you are given a trig, a stats, a distribution, and a miscellaneous. For all of our log stuff, you want to go to where it says miscellaneous. And so here is our log. So I'm going to do log of x. Okay, and there is our graph for log of x. Okay, now sometimes you will have a log that has a different base. Now this log right here, log of x, that is base 10. But sometimes you don't have a base 10. You've got a very specific base. So I want you to look at this button right here. It says log base A. So when you have something that's different than base 10, so let's say we're using base 2, then that is the button that you use for that. And the other one that we use quite a bit is natural log, and it's right here. So you hit, whoops, let me get back out of that. Let me go down here. And so then we might have the natural log. So we'll do the natural log of x. Okay, and so I wanted to make sure that you knew where those buttons were inside Desmos. So we have our log base A, our log base 10, and our natural log there for you to be able to use that when you're graphing because those visuals are super, super important for us. Okay, that is all I have. What can I do to make you feel better about this? What do you need from me? What can I do? And I'm gonna go ahead and close out of this and be looking at my screen. And I'm trying to stay on top of my emails and things in WebAssign. I'm kind of getting into my new normal. So we should be in pretty good shape from that perspective. Okay. Anything I can do? Okay. Please don't hesitate to get in touch with me at any point. I'm around. I'm not going anywhere. I'm stuck at home. And I can help, I can help with a video, I can help talking you through something. You just let me know because I am happy to do it. And it looks like most people are working on their homework. So we're in pretty good shape. So I just like to continue touching base with you on Tuesday just to check in. And then you'll have what you need for the rest of the week. Okay. Anything else you need from me before we go? Okay, well, I hope everybody has a good day. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.